Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna.
Well, I would like to welcome you to You Were Designed for Greatness. Christine, you are a dear friend. We are really keep connecting, don't we?
Yes.
So I am really excited to have you on the podcast today. So let's start and tell the people listening a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up? Tell us about you.
Thanks, Donna. I'm so excited to be here. I adore you, and I've known you for years, so I'm glad. I appreciate what you're doing. I grew up in a little town called Ashton, Michigan, which is about an hour and a half north of Grand Rapids, and it's a very, very small town.
Great. And did you have brothers and sisters?
I did. I do. Luckily, I don't. I'm getting older now, so I'm 53. So we're starting to see more of our friends, our family members of our friends pass away, and I just don't know how people survive when their siblings pass away. I had a small family, so I have one sister and my mom and dad, so there were four of us, but both sides of my family, my mom's side and my dad's side, have big families. So I have tons and tons of cousins.
Awesome. So that brings, I grew up in a big family too, so that brings a different flavor to your life when you have all of those cousins around.
Yeah, it does. And I am so thankful I had them growing up. I do notice my ex-husband came from a small family, and he did not have cousins around. And his family gatherings and the way they think is so different than the way I was brought up. You know, big differences.
I do. I understand that. So, you mentioned the word divorced. So tell me, do you have children?
Yes. The guy who I married was and still is the nicest man in the whole wide world. And we had a great marriage. We've never argued. We still have never argued, even to this day now. We're divorced now, but he lives down the street. I used to explain things in our differences. We were so completely different, but I used to say, opposites attract, and I will overlook this because it's not that big of a deal to me. But when I found out the older we got, and we have two amazing children, and we bought a great house together, we had a great life, but I realized that we were so different in character and thoughts and goals and the way we responded to every single situation that opposites attract wasn't cute anymore. It was starting to really be a challenge to realize that my future life looks completely different than his future life. So we decided to part ways as friends, and he lives just down the street. So it's all good.
Good. So tell me about your kids.
I have Paige, who is a 21-year-old amazing daughter. And I have Gibson, who is a 14-year-old amazing young man who spends 99% of his time playing video games. But, he's an all-A student. He excels in music. He won in 9th grade. He won the kindest freshman boy award out of all of his class. So I was so proud of that. So they're great kids. Yeah.
Awesome. So what do you currently do?
I own a marketing agency called Avid Marketing Alliance. And we teach people how to move to the next level in their business as far as marketing and sales is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that actually, this is our 10-year anniversary, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So a divorced woman with 2 kids and you own your own business.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
You can see all the wrinkles and gray hair I have. It is not easy. It's not. But so I'm very fortunate. I've loved every single job I've ever had, except when I was a kid washing dishes at Pizza Hut. That was a tough one. But after that, it was when I was a bagger in college. I loved being a bagger because you had the best conversations with people when you're bagging their groceries. And then I was a cashier, so I loved being a cashier. And I decided to move to Grand Rapids in 1988 after I could not get any more student loans from my college. I was going to Ferris. And I came down to the big city, and I was lucky enough to get the most amazing internship at the Grand Plaza. Loved all of that. Went to 7 departments. Then I went over to Spectrum. And then I went over to Amway International Promotions, where I helped them do promotions for 27 different countries around the world. It was so amazing. And then I went to Herman Miller for about 12 years down through their entire massive downsizing. And I kept getting promoted and promoted and promoted. And I was in marketing and communications, PR, event marketing, and things like that. So that was in 2000. And I am just high on life, right? I have 2 great kids. I have a great house. We were married. But I worked with Hollywood sets. I was getting the Herman Miller furniture on the Hollywood sets. I love Herman Miller. Everything was great. But I was traveling 80% of my time. And I didn't even know. It was my last trip out. And my little guy was getting ready to go into kindergarten. And I was down in Florida. And I was really sad because I hadn't been home much that month. And I was in Florida. And I was looking at the union rep because I had to tell him when I needed his union men there to set up our booth the next morning. I didn't even know what time zone I was in. And I had this little breakdown in my head that was happening. I didn't even seriously know what state I was in. And I said to myself, and I think I even said it to that man, that I was done, that I couldn't do this anymore. So I went back and I let Herman Miller know, and they were so amazing. And I left there, and then I took everything that I know and love and started my own marketing agency. Super blessed.
Awesome. So you run a marketing company to help people take their business to the next level. What are a couple tips that are the easiest things that people miss?
Oh, good question, Donna. What people miss? So I think what I've been doing lately is a lot of training on putting together the right messages for their ideal clients, but then how to build their database. So during this quiet time, I've been trying not to use the C words, and just saying it's quiet time for them to how to create a strong database, right? So over the past year, I did this for my own company. Over the past year, I have added at least 100 names of people that I just started to email with, or I'd meet them and we would have an email conversation, or they would ask me a question. Well, I never put those people, as I should have been doing, into my database for future marketing. These are people that I met, had a great conversation with, had great chemistry, and then we even took it to the email form, so we were ongoing with our conversation. What I'm training people to do right now is to sit, even if they're relaxed on their couch, take an Excel spreadsheet, open it up, and go into their email program, type in the letter A, and then all those people will come up. And if you liked them and they could potentially help you or your business, put them in your Excel spreadsheet and then upload them into the correct spot or category they should be in. And then start to write messages now that would share the knowledge of your business with them and gently walk them into their sales funnel. So I think, to tell you the truth, what people miss often is the obvious.
Mm-hmm. It usually is.
And the fact that I like to remind people that the golden rule is in the follow-up, or what do they say? The money is in the follow-up, or the gold is in the follow-up, or something like that. And that's so true. I read a statistic that it takes 38 impressions now for someone to hear or see your brand and respond to it, where it used to be 7, remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Then I remember it being, I think it was around 10 back in 09 and 10 when I had started my business. No, so it was 7 when I started my business, and then it was about 10 impressions in 2015. And because of the mass awareness now, it's 38 times somebody has to see your branding before they respond.
Wow. That's a lot.
It is. And then you think what you're doing is hounding people, right? So what I like to do is, another thing is make sure that they're setting up a plan so that ideal client is seeing you 38 times in different formats, so that it's not just you sending them 38 emails in a row. That's not going to happen, right?
That's a great idea. How about when you having your own business and everything, what has influenced you? What people or books has influenced you that has kept you positive when it didn't look so good, and help you to get over those kind of humps? Has there been anyone that's been an encouragement role model to you?
Oh, so many. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even So, I mean, you, Donna, I've watched you grow and blossom and flourish and expand your brand. There are so many amazing people in our community. You know, I've had Michelle Steffes has been on your show before, and I've learned a lot from Michelle. So she talks a lot about retraining your brain and your neural pathways. I try to only put in my brain positive energy. And I have worked as a woman extremely hard through rough patches in my life on how to prevent either negative actions from somebody else or an external force or whatever may be happening. I know I've, over the last year or two, worked to keep them blocked out of my brain. So anyone who has positive energy that I talk with or I listen to helps me to stay positive.
Awesome. So if people want to get to know you better and to know your information about you, how do they reach out to you?
Well, I'm on Facebook a lot, so Avid Marketing Alliance. We do have a Facebook business page, but I also like to get to know people on my personal page, which is Christine Morse, because part of my business is my amazing experience outside of my business.
Right.
I mean, they're one and the same. When you hire Christine, you hire me as a human, because I'm totally transparent. I'm also on LinkedIn as Christine Morse, and of course I have a business page. But then also I've gotten a pretty good website. You know, websites change every day. But Avid Marketing Alliance has a website, and I'm trying to make that messaging real clear during this time. So any of those mediums is a good way to connect with me.
Well, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your time during this interesting time in our life. And if there was one or two sentences to speak to that woman who has a dream, but doesn't know what to do with it, what might you say to her?
Oh, Donna, that is such an amazing question. I would say to her that she should go for it. And now, out of any other time, this is a time that proves we cannot put all of our eggs in one basket. Right? We cannot rely on the world around us sustaining us. We as women, we have to build ourselves, and we can use the word empire because it's what I'm building is an empire, and I'm doing it out of the passion and love from my heart. So if a little girl from Ashton, Michigan can do it, anybody can do it.
Oh, I love it. So we will put your contact information links below this podcast. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your day, and every time you do, sharing your big smile and your heart with those around you.
Thanks, Donna.
I loved my time talking with Christine today, and she is absolutely right. We cannot depend on everything around us sustaining us and supporting us. And one of the things that has made the most impact in my life, I want to share with you as a gift today. Declarations and affirmations have been one of the main things that has transformed my life and millions of others' lives. And I want to share with you today my 5 favorite declarations. And it is a free gift for you today. There will be a link available to you to get that resource. So, as always, this is Donna closing out podcast number 41, saying live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashton or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.